Yeah, so it was a wonderful morning. Just recognizing I have the beauty to be in front of you. Would like to give you a little bit of an update what a Berlin startup company is doing or has done over the last 10 years, and to give you an outlook where we think the future will be in the storage business. So grid scale is one topic, but also startup is a topic. You will see that technology can drive markets. You can see that actually availability and financing can drive markets. So to give you a quick overview what Younicos is at a glance, we are kind of pioneers for the last 10 years. Pioneers means pioneers in battery, cell technology, in chemistries, pioneers in understanding inverters, pioneers in understanding software, how to control, pioneers in understanding market regulations, how storage can be applied. And this finally is ending up now into being pioneer in understanding how to best commercialize storage in our market. So that is a continuous journey we are in, and you see that we have been quite successful in one of the leaders today of having deployed now more than 100 megawatt installed capacity. We just recently deployed the commissioned in the US to overcome the 100 megawatt. You see that we have employee base both in Austin and in Germany, here in Berlin, actually in the area of Adlershof, a very nice building where we have now more than 150 employees. And I think what is also important, and you will see this through my presentation, we have for all these 10 years now captured data. And data means we have understood and recognized and recorded what does it mean to run an energy storage system. So we have more than 3 terabytes of data of behavior of storage, which is very, very interesting for our business case calculations. And we receive a lot of requests also just for feasibility studies and the project financing feasibilities to understand what is the behavior of a storage system and how can it best deploy to fulfill the business case over a period of time. So you see the market is heavily increasing. That is now moving from the pioneering stage to a real, hopefully becoming a mature market. The market, I think, is not the issue. It's more like how are you able to bring the money to finance those heavily asset-related projects. And I think what is the difference to maybe the residential side is when you talk about storage, and that is, of course, what the automotive part is. In this grid scale area, you have a lot of regulatory requirements and status quos and whatever. This is a little bit, for some companies in the market, a kind of a hurdle or a kind of an issue or sometimes a pattern. But I think what is important is in this area to understand that the technology is actually available to help you to overcome all these hurdles. You know that whenever you deploy more and more decentral generation, you deploy renewables, then the impact and the stress for the grid becomes even bigger. And I think one of the most important benefits of storage is that it can act and react in milliseconds. That is one of the key benefits of battery-related storage, and I think that is something everybody should kind of have in mind when we could think about deploying storage. And by running milliseconds, it means it has a lot of potential, and I think I will show you some of them in the next slide in terms of the trends. What does it mean, trend in storage? It means that the market has learned from the first projects. It means that they have learned that storage can be helpful in many business areas, and now customers demand quick to deploy, standardization. So they're moving now forward in terms of having flexible, scalable products. So from some kilowatt areas up to megawatt areas, it should be standardized, and that is a requirement for every vendor in this market. The second one, I think, is a very important one. I mentioned that we have captured 3 terabyte of data. I think if we can act in milliseconds, for example, if we can run that kind of system in millisecond, it means it's capable to be involved in markets which are enabled by blockchain technology. So if you just imagine how you could trade capacities or how you could maybe support ancillary services if you would use those millisecond capabilities. The third trend, I think, is something which is, in comparison to CNI, to grid scale, an interesting trend. We see that the CNI customer level is picking up far quicker those potentials of storage instead of the grid side. That has several reasons. I mean, the regulation does not really support intensively deploy storage. You may be aware about large tenders in the UK, where National Grid tenders 200 megawatt of enhanced frequency response to support their grid services, but that are just at the moment single kind of lighthouse projects. What we see is that CNI customers understand how they maybe can use it to overcome decrease of subsidies in renewables like PV or wind. It can overcome curtailments in wind, for example. Storage can help the off-grid situations of those multinational companies having mines or having other daughter companies in Africa or in Asia where the grid stability is not given. So there are a lot of areas where storage is already mature enough to support those CNI customers. And also what we have seen is that we have requests that I would say the trading side or the sales arms of those big utility companies, big suppliers, are approaching us asking if we could offer white label solutions, which we do, of course. That means they're in their portfolio of helping the industrial customers for more flexibility. They also would like to have storage as one portfolio element to their customers. And we, of course, are happy to support those as an offering. That means storage is, for us, very mature. It can be kind of broken down into different applications. For each of the applications, there is a business case. For each business case, we have the data available, the know-how available, how to best deploy storage system, and to make it also profitable. We have multiple installations where we can also prove these business cases. And we can offer very simply it's not yet on stock, but that's the goal, to have, for example, those Y cubes just on stock, and to offer this within a standard business as usual time frame. I think that is the other trend of the CNI part, that it moves to business as usual, and those typical order or lead times of batteries and inverters going up to sometimes 4, 5, or 6 months, that is not acceptable anymore. And I think Younicos, as one of the leaders in this area, will also drive the market to move storage to become business as usual. So finally, and I think what I would like to address here is, beside the topics of understanding this kind of business for the last 10 years, understanding the solution level, having software, one of the key capabilities of Younicos, and that is something which is really bringing us a lot of leads, both from a project but also from a financing perspective, is that due to our understanding and our software, we have created a simulation software. That means we can run every application, every potential business case, any kind of potential physical installation, like storage, like PV, like even diesel. We have our own technology center in Berlin, and every one of you is invited to come to us and have a visit. We have created a 1-to-3 scale of our microgrid solution of Graciosa Island, which really includes a diesel, which includes PV, which includes wind, which includes storage. We have this as an operational technology center, and we can, by adapting all the key parameters, calculate every potential situation of your potentially planned storage system. So I think that is one of the key benefits of Younicos. And like I said, please pass by. We can show you what we're doing there. It's really, you're not allowed to touch it, but of course you can kind of see it and get an impression. We can show you the simulations, and I think then your business case becomes profitable. Thank you very much.